able to complete the first stage, second stage, third stage, and fourth stage, but the attacker was not able to achieve their objective because they were not able to execute fifth stage, sixth stage, and seventh stage. The reason for that is the root cause is that the executive permission, the attacker was somehow not able to uh, execute that downloader because the attacker was not able to set up the executable permission on that one. Okay, so I hope guys you got an idea of why understanding this Lockheed Martin kill chain is quite important, because you need to know for any incident at what stage the attacker is right now. Okay, so I hope you got an idea. Now let's go to the next stages quickly. So installation is something we have already covered, where additional malwares is kind of a setup. Now the second last stage is control on C2 server. So what the C2 server is that over here, attacker actually establish a connection with the compromised system to remotely control it or perform actions. Okay, so at this stage, if the attacker has reached this stage, that means the attacker has somehow has been able to kind of let the computer connect to its own malware server, and from there the attacker is able to kind of control, or let's say execute any command on the computer of his or her choice. Okay, so that's what the command and control server is. So let's say over here, let's say the malware is trying to, one of the command control server can be that the malware is trying to read a certain tweet present in a Twitter. Okay, and the attacker is actually just posting the command that it wants to execute on the system by changing the text of that tweet. Okay, so this is how attacker has somehow, let's say, had made a connection with that computer, for an example. Okay, so this is all the command and control C2 stage where the attacker will have a control of the system. And now the last part, which is action on objectives. Action on objective is actually something where this is the final stage where actually the attacker was able to achieve their goal. Okay, so one of the example can be the hacker successfully exfiltrated sensitive customer data from company system. Okay, so let's say data exfil. Okay, or let's say the attacker objective was data encryption, like ransomware attack, for example. Okay, so this is the final stage. Okay, so we need to kind of, this kill chain actually help us into understanding at what stage the attacker is when we are dealing with any kind of incident. Let's say we got an email, let's say alert at the third stage, we need to quickly spun up in most of the cases and stop the attacker from kind of, let's say, completing their other stages like fourth, fifth, sixth, and seventh. So I hope this Lockheed Martin kill chain now make more sense to you guys. So do you guys have any kind of questions on this one?
Yeah. One thing, yeah. Like we already saw in the initial stage of our class about pyramid of pain, right? The pyramid of
Yeah.
pain in the
Yes.
initial classes we saw.
Yes.
Sir, if this thing will relate to that one, or this and that is separate, because there we saw about tools and those kind of things.
I think I lost your audio. Can you just repeat that again? Not getting that.
Sir,
Yeah.
initial stage we saw about some of the stages from pyramid of pain, like the TTPs, tools, domain names, IP address.
Yes. Yes.
So those things relate to this one, or this and that one is separate.
Okay. So yeah, that's, those things actually relate to this one. So let me just quickly go to the pyramid of pain.
If I know the difference between those two things, I will be clear with this part.
Yeah. So thing is that this is what the pyramid of pain, I think what I showcased you last of the guys. This is because demonstrates some of the indicators of compromise that are troubling to adversaries than others. So thing is that let's say what it is, okay, what's the hash value, what's the IP address of the attacker, let's say what is the domain name, what are the any other kind of network or host artifacts or the tools. So this understanding, so basically thing is that what this pyramid of pain tells us. This pyramid of pain tells us if an attacker is using a malware to infect within the attack chain, and how will the defender will kind of detect those kind of things. Okay, so this is quite related to the kill chain. Why? Because over here, let's say this is the stages that the attacker is trying to kind of uh, go through to achieve their final objective. And how we come in as a SOC professional is that how we are able to detect over here that at what stage we will be able to detect that okay, an attack is about to come. So we can kind of let's say for an example, let's say the recon stage. Let's say we have the IP addresses of the known attackers. Okay, and if we are seeing that okay, someone is trying to do some kind of recon from that IP address. Let's say that IP address is of the let's say of a very complicated attacker. Okay, and let's say there has been some kind of like harvesting of email addresses of our company, or let's say the person, there has been some kind of scanning that is getting performed by that IP addresses to our system. We can know that okay, that attacker is actually right now in the first stage. Okay, so to understand, so what I mean is that why this both things is kind of closely related, because this thing will help you in kind of detecting the attackers at different stages. Okay, so right now let's say for the delivery stage, if we want to figure out if the attacker has now reached out to third stage, what we do is that here we need a lot of things like the phishing email. We need to know the attacker, let's say the IP addresses, or let's say the email addresses of the attacker. Let's say it has some kind of attachment. Okay, and this attachment, malicious attachment will have some kind of hash value like over here. So it will be really easy for us to detect, okay, if that hash is kind of a known hash, we can quickly say that, okay, we are able to detect the attacker at the third stage right now. Okay. So this is how like you will be using this kind of artifacts to kind of detect at what stage the attacker is kind of currently existing. Are they kind of at the first stage, or are they kind of third stage, or have they kind of already executed the malwares? Let's say we have the IP address of the C2 server, for example, from here. So can we say that okay, if we see that okay, there has been a communication from our internal system to the IP addresses of the attacker, we can say that okay, the attacker has reached out to the sixth stage of the attack. So the thing is that to address your question, to summarize, both these things are quite related. This chart actually helps me into understanding the attack life cycle at different stages, and this chart actually helps you into understanding how you can detect those attacks coming into the system and understand at what stage the attacker is currently. So we will be as a SOC officer, we need to kind of utilize both these things to kind of defend our organization. Okay. So I hope I answered your question. Do you need any other clarification on this one?
No, sir. I'm clear with this.
Okay. Okay. Fine, guys. So thank you for raising that query, and let's see what next in our kit. Just give me 1 second. Now, thing is that what I will be doing is I will be kind of going to the micro attack framework. Okay? So if you just search on Google, you will get it. Micro attack. Okay, so this is the miter attack, and what this tell us, this is quite a good one. Okay, what this tell us is actually what are the different stages that we have seen earlier, it is much more actually